All right, so this is what I'm gonna go ahead and teach y'all today. It's gonna go over how to get 0% business financing, right? Or 0% funding, startup funding, all of that you see online that people are marketing. I'm gonna show you how to do because it's not hard. It's very easy, and really a lot of these people are just internet marketers. That's all they are. They're not anything impressive, right? And quite frankly, it doesn't take a genius to do it because I'm the one doing it, right? Um, Anyways, check this out. So first, your personal credit matters, okay? I don't care what anyone says. You're always gonna have to personally guarantee personal or not personal, but business products, especially if you're a small business owner, right? Even mid market people that are making like what is it, $10 million or more in revenue per year, upwards to $1 billion is the cutoff. They still have to personally guarantee these products, right? I worked with a commercial banker. I verified it with him. He worked mid market. He's like, yeah, that doesn't exist in mid market either. Like, generally, it's for public companies. So, again, don't believe me, just go out there and look for it on your own. But I'm already telling you, there is no non personal guarantee products. So, you're going to have to personally guarantee this. And quite frankly, if you're looking for non PG products and you're over here at a bank asking for that, you look really sketchy. Like, they're not going to even want to deal with you at that point. Anyways, so personal credit should have a mixed primaries, right? Because at the end of the day, like I said, they're gonna still check your personal credit, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to get these business cards, the startup funding, all that using your personal credit. So again, you need to have mixed primaries, right? What I mean by that is you want to have credit cards, personal loans, autos, mortgages, etc., and you want to age it for at least two years, right? Now, if you're an adult, right, 25 plus, that's no problem. It's not hard. If you're not there yet, I suggest getting with the credit repair company and working with them. I have someone that I can refer you to. Again, I'm not going to get into the personal credit because that's not the point of this video, right? It's just to teach you guys how to get the 0%. So, or the startup funding. So again, if you're a business owner, 0 to 6 months. Oh, and then later on, I'll show you how to actually call the banks and whatnot. But anyways, let's first look at like how to do it. Businesses 0 to 6 months. If that's a yes for you, if you're a 680 plus on Experian, go here. Yes, you always want to get NAB Prime. NAB Prime is like Experian.com, but it's for business, right? There's no other provider. There's no like Credit Karma, Smart Wallet, or whatever. There's none of that. The only one is NAB Prime or going directly to the credit bureaus. If you go directly to the credit bureaus, it's like $100 per report, something crazy, right? But anyways, point is, NAB Prime is you always want to have that, whatever the case is. It's unsecured business cards. Oh, I misspelled that. Anyways, unsecured business cards, you can immediately go that route. The startup providers is like Amex. Amex is a good one, or go to a local regional bank and ask if they work with like startups. Right, basically, if you're 0 to 6 months, you're not going to get anything outside of that. Now, if your score is not a 680, do credit repair, get net prime, and if you want, you can consider getting the net 30s and gas cards to help build the business credit profile, right? But it's not necessary. You don't have to do that because again, once you get at this point here, and if you have the correct primaries and all that, you can just immediately go to Amex and get approved. And they literally hand out like $25,000 unsecured, no lien, whatever, right? After that, if you're 6 to 12 months old, same thing. 680 plus on Experian, unsecured business cards. If not, credit repair, consider doing the net 30s, gas cards, etc. So again, if you kind of notice the pattern, if you're 680 plus, you can pretty much get whatever you want, right? Business owners that or businesses that are 1 to 2 years old, there's a couple things you can do, right? So again, if not credit repair, consider getting the gas cards. Then you go here. Now, the reason I ask like financials is because some business owners they already have their financials in order after 1 year. And again, not everyone does it. If you don't, that's okay. You're just gonna have to go with stated income products. What I mean by stated income, they're not gonna use like your tax returns, none of that to get you approved. They're gonna strictly look at the like what you tell them. And so stated income, when you apply for your first personal card, everyone does it. They go ahead and put in like, oh, I make $150,000 a year, and you're like a 19-year-old, and the bank never verifies it. That's stated income, okay? Now, I'm not saying lie about your revenues because at any point in time, if the bank feels like auditing your business and they request financials and you can't back it, well, it doesn't look good, and they'll probably just shut down your accounts, right? So again, that's why I don't ever recommend lying, but just keep that in mind. That's what stated income means. Now, if you do have the financials, oh wait, also, Now, if you're in this situation here, going stated income, consider tracking your financials, right? The reason I say consider is because it's not always going to make sense. I know business owners that haven't filed a single tax return in years. Again, it is what it is, right? But people are playing the game the way it's set, it's designed to be played. So I'm not here to judge, but I'm just saying, like, consider tracking it. You're gonna figure that out as you go, right? Or don't do it, right? At the end of the day, that's a personal decision. As far as financials goes, if you do got them, you can go unsecured business cards, stated income, and then you can start talking about the terms, loans, and verifiable like lines of credit, right? I'm not going to get into how to source the lines of credit just because it's a little advanced and it's just too much. But for now, like just know that you can start doing that. Once you're 2 years plus, if you're a 680 plus, again, it's literally the same flow as this, but the only difference is, again, credit repair. If you're not a 680, consider adding the net 30s and gas cards. All right. But if you do have that score, do you have the financials? No, I do not. Unsecured business cards, stated income products. Consider tracking your financials, right? If it makes sense. If it doesn't, then it doesn't, right? Don't worry about it. But if you do have your financials, then you can get pretty much whatever you want at this point. People that are in this category, they can literally go to any bank and start applying for lines of credit, term loans. It doesn't mean you're gonna get it, right? But like I'm saying, like you can start sourcing products like that. But again, so generally the key thing is if you're a 680 plus on Experian, right, and your personal credit it has these primaries, you can go and start applying for these business cards, and that is what 0% business financing is. All these internet marketers, what they're offering, that's all it is. Startup funding, it's business credit cards, right? I mean, there's private money, right? But I'm yet to find a private money guy that's going to actually lend money to someone that has zero track record in business, right? Generally, if you're going to go private money, you're going to have a track record, right? Again, I don't care what anyone else says, like what they read online. I do this every single day. So again, that's what it is. It's super easy, super simple, right? Now, the next thing I'm going to show you guys is how to actually call the banks and figure it out. So I got all these scripts. Here's for the business cards, and it's super simple. Now, I'm going to just read through the script, and then after that, I'm going to teach you exactly like um, why I ask these questions and how to do the actual stacking. This is how people say, I can get you 0%, $150,000 startup funding or whatever 0% financing, right? All they're doing is stacking the credit cards. And again, the way I do it is by following this script. Now, the reason I use a call script is because since we're talking about business lending, there's no regulation, right? Which is good and bad. Bad end is because like if they just think you're not actually like trustworthy or something, they're just not going to even deal with you and just say you're denied. And if you ask them why, they don't have to tell you why. It's not like a mortgage or a credit card where they have to spell out the reason why. They can just say you don't match our criteria of lending or whatever, right? Whatever jargon they want to give you. And then that's it. If you want to complain about it, like to the CFPB, they're not going to accept the complaint because it's a business product. And now the reason why it can be good that there is no regulation, well, if you find a really good business banker, they can help push the applications, right? Anyways, so hi, my name is David. I was on your website. And this is how I started. So I say, hi, my name is David. I was on your website. I was interested in learning more about some of your loan products. I'm looking to expand my business and not very happy with Bank of America. I'm currently looking at options for business lending and wanted to ask some quick questions before applying. Can you help me, or do I need to talk with a commercial banker or a business banker? At that point, they get you to whoever you got to get to. And then this is optional phrasing. The reason I have this talk off is because, again, they're very aggressive, and some of them, like, they're just not going to answer your questions because they want you to apply. They're going to be like, hey, just fill out the app. I'll tell you if you're approved or not. And it's like, no, like, I've been advised by my CPA and attorney to understand a lender's guidelines before I apply. That way I don't apply somewhere that's not a good fit. And if they respect you after that, then they're a good bank. And if they're still being pushy, shovey, and all that, then I would just quite frankly end the call and move on because it just means they're hiding something, and I don't deal with that, and I don't get pushed around on the phone calls anymore or whatever, right? It's like, yeah, either answer my questions or like I'm just gonna go to another bank. Like it's not a big deal. But anyways, usbanklocations.com is how you find them. Oh, another thing, another tip on calling banks. I like to stick to regional banks, community banks, and credit unions. The reason why is because the underwriting criteria for like these national banks, so like Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, they're very strict, and it's just very like just very black and white, right? If you try to get to an actual underwriter, you're gonna have to be in private banking, right? And to be in private banking, I'm talking about like you have to have assets like 1M plus, right? $1 million or more. Now, if you're able to qualify, great. Then you just go to Chase Private Banking, Merrill, whatever, and you'll be fine. However, most business owners just they're not in that category, and that's okay. And so that's why the community banks are better because they don't have that. They're like they if they want you to get to an underwriter, they'll get you to an underwriter. I've talked to underwriters before, and it's just a better experience. Now, basically the questions are this: what is the minimum credit score? Also, if I'm going a little too fast, I do apologize, but y'all can pause it, take notes, whatever, rewatch it. So that's kind of why I'm just going through it. And plus, I have something to do at 7:30, so I'm trying to get this done quick. But anyways, so what is the minimum credit score? They'll tell you. Time in business required to apply. They'll let you know as well. What personal credit bureau do you pull from reviewing when reviewing the application? They'll let you know. And again, these two questions is how we stack, and I'll get to how we do it with my example here, and then I'll show you another example on how to find a couple things. So now we go, who issues the card, and then is it your bank directly or a third party? Right? And they'll either say it's our bank or they'll say a third party. And basically, this is where we can run into issues when stacking, which again, I'll show you later on. So then they'll answer that. And then you say, what's the maximum credit limit you typically approve based on stated income alone? This means like no financials provided, just stated income, right? And they'll let you know, like, hey, this is what we do. Or they'll just tell some banks just don't do stated income. They'll just say, like, hey, like, I know, like, you can go do that at Amex or whatever, but generally we always look at financials and then you just end the call, right? Anyway, or you continue if you have the financials. And then you ask, if I provide financials, can the credit limit be increased? And this is more for people that do stated income, because some banks say like, hey, our cutoff point after like we can max you out at 25 grand, but anything more than that, we're gonna go ahead and ask for financials. And if they do ask for financials and you got them, then great. If not, don't worry about it. If yes, what's the maximum limit available with docs and what financials would you need? So do you need my tax returns, P&L, the balance sheet? Like, what do you need? And then after that, you're all good to go, right? Just thank them for their time. Start gathering the data. Again, I have a whole lender list here that for people to fill out, right? And you just go out there and fill it out. Start building it. Now, this is my actual lender list that I built. Um, where is it? Here it is, right? And again, it's super sloppy, but for me, it makes sense just because I've been doing this for a long time. Now, basically, the way we stack is going to be this question here: who issues the card, and then where what they pull from, right? So now, one thing you got to keep in mind: there's certain third-party providers that underwrite for multiple banks. Elon Financial is a good example. They're the largest underwriter for business credit cards. I think the other one's TCM. I forgot who TCM is, but point is that these are the main ones, TCM and Elon. And then I'll show you an actual bank that does it as well. Well, we can look here, but so yeah, basically you see that that's a no go for me because I like to go ahead and do it by the actual underwriters themselves. So like Alliance Bank of Arizona, they issue it themselves. So I would apply here, and they do Experian. Great, that's one in my stack. Commerce Bank of Arizona, it's issued by Mastercard. So Mastercard underwrites it directly. I forgot why I like this one actually. I don't even know why I highlighted it. But point is, it's a different underwriter than this, and they do Equifax. So that's two. Now, what I can do is, okay, if I have, oh wait, I have a TransUnion Bank. So I can go TransUnion with First Bank, right? They issue it, boom, that's three. And then from here, it's like, okay, now we got to go ahead and start rotating our actual inquiries. So then I might go and hit an Experian Bank after that, fifth, third, and you get the idea, right? You just start rotating it like that. And that's again, I've been doing this for a long time, so I know how to like remove inquiries within 24 hours and get them funded more than just 150. Like I can do a lot more than that. Super easy. Anyways, now let's say you do like 5 applications and it's all Elon cards. Well, this is what could happen. Elon could see it and be like, "Hey, Umpqua Bank, this guy just applied for like 5 different credit cards for other banks we underwrite for. We just want to go ahead and notify you about that. We're gonna deny all the apps. We're not gonna extend any credit to them, but we want to let you know." And then what they can do, Umpqua Bank can come back and be like, "Hey, why are you doing this? Like, why are you applying? And then they'll put you in a high risk category. And then in the very worst case scenario, they just shut everything out. Like they'll just shut down your business banking account. Obviously they'll give you your money back, right? But they'll shut you down, and then they'll say you can't come back to the bank. We don't want to do business with you ever again. That's like literally the worst case scenario, and I've seen that happen, right? It's that happens a lot. So that's why you want to use different underwriters. The best case scenario is Elon just denies everything, right? Now I'm not saying Elon is a bad move at all. I'm just saying like that's why I don't use him, because once you start providing these underwriters data, then they can start sharing that with the bank, and then the bank, it can ruin your other applications. So if you have like if you're also applying for a line of credit or a term loan, well, Elon could say, hey, by the way, they put here on their app that they really have this much in assets and they own this and that. And then West America can be like, well, they didn't tell me that when they did the line of credit. Let's go back and like deny them, I guess. Or you see what I'm saying? So that's why I don't like using a big provider like that. I mean, I've done it, right? But it's very rare that I would do it. So again, I hope that makes sense on how to go ahead and do the stacking and why we ask these questions. Again, these are the two more important ones, right? And that's how you do it. So kind of to quickly recap again, as long as you're a 680 plus, you got primaries, go unsecured business cards. I think Bank of America is another good one for start. Oh, I think you have to be 2 years plus actually for them. Point is, a lot of big banks, regional banks, they do the business cards for people to start out to get the relationship built. And again, one thing that the key difference between personal funding and business funding is the actual relationship, because again, there is no regulation, so they don't have to follow rules. And generally the way they do it with business funding, it's extremely old school. Like it's still like paper applications. They mail in the application to the underwriting department. Sometimes the underwriter wants to get to know you and see what you're about, right? And it's very relationship heavy. So that's why I have my script and I present myself a certain way, because it puts you in a different category than all the other people. And again, they're just judging you the whole time. And, whether that's good or bad, I mean, I'm not here to debate that. I'm just letting you know that's just how it is, right? And so basically, back to this. So 680, right? If you're a 680 plus, go business, credit cards, stick to regional community banks, ask these questions here, build out your funding sheet, and then to stack, again, see, I prefer if it's issued by the bank itself and then different bureaus. Now, if you really know what you're doing, you can start deleting the credit inquiries and whatnot. I'm not going to get into that just because it's a lot. It's actually not a lot, but it's just I just don't want to do it. But anyways, now as far as hold on, a real example to kind of see like who issues the card and whatnot. Let's go to we're hold on. Let's do Banner Bank first, because Banner Bank is actually a really good bank. Or yeah, Banner Bank. Banner Bank is a really good bank in California. I think we got someone. I forgot how much we got them, but it was just cake. It was just slam dunk. Just boom, done deal, done. Anyways, so business credit cards here. You click on whatever, and the way you can look at who issues the card without calling them, if you're just phone shy, I guess, is just look at their summary of the cards, and then you'll see here immediately that the name of the bank is in here. So it says Banner Bank Business Cash Rewards Card, and then if you keep looking, if account is open, you'll receive a Banner Bank, and then there you go. That's how you know it's issued by them. And again, if you don't believe it, just verify it with them by calling, right? Now we can go to a bigger bank, Bank of America, right? Go to small business, credit cards, just anything really. It doesn't matter, right? And then you just look at the credit card agreement, terms and conditions. What the heck? Oh, this one's weirder. And then you just scroll down. Well, either way, it literally says Business Advantage card right there. And then it just has like all of Bank of America's information. Yeah, that's an all right example. But Banner Bank, if we look at Umpqua Bank is really good, by the way. They're in Arizona as well. Where is it? There it is, Umpqua Bank. They're actually good for just regular traditional lending products, but when it comes to their business card, because I like to stack them, I don't get the business cards with them. But anyways, if we go to business, and then you're gonna start to, I'll show you guys something pretty interesting in advance. But anyways, so hold on, where are my credit cards? And then this is like the first indicator, by the way, that it's underwritten by a third party. Click learn more and apply, and it literally, well, this one it tells you straight up, Elon Financial Services, right? It tells you straight up. But if it ever gives you a pop up like this and say, hey, you're going to a different website, then that means it's underwritten by a third party, most likely. And then on top of that, hold on, let it load up real quick. Oh no, it might not load just because it's like I have stuff running in the background. Okay, that's frustrating. Here, let's do First Pacific because that one, I don't know. That one's also Elon, but you'll see the difference. Hold on. Business. Business cards. And then this is an example. It literally doesn't tell, it just says third party website, right? Oh, then look. So if we look here, it took us to a different site. And then if we go to see terms and conditions, and then just keep in mind this, and then also like the actual agreement. It just says a generic name, right? And then if we keep looking here, it says we may charge APRs based on your experience with Elon Financial. And that's how I know third party Elon. And then if we look at First Pacific, again, it has the same structure, but it doesn't say where it's taking you. But if you look at this little FaveCon or whatever they call it for internet little emojis, logos, you see it's like literally like it's the same site. They just white labeled it, right? And then you can tell right here that's Elon's logo. And then on top of that, the only reason why I can tell just by looking is because I've been doing it a long time, and it's honestly not hard after you start to see the patterns. And then same thing, boom, Elon Financial, right? And so that's a quick way for me to like start stacking cards or potential cards. Is I just go to their website. We can try Alliance. Let's see if Alliance has their cards because some of these banks they don't post their products like the full actual credit card details. You have to go in person or email someone and do a paper app, right? Business here. So I don't think this one even has the yeah. You see, so like you have to call them with this one, and that you're gonna get a lot of that where you got to do that. This is just a rewards program. You don't need to worry about that. Um, but yeah, again, I hope that makes sense, right? Again, just to kind of recap real quickly what we just did, and again, people literally are charging thousands of dollars for this, and it's literally the easiest thing you can do. And the reason I like to show people this stuff is because I'm like, yo, those are just internet marketers. They don't even know anything about like SBA, lines of credit, term loans, etc. They don't even know how to talk to them, you know? They're over here just fumbling through their words, like looking like amateurs. But point is, 680 plus Experian. Once you're at 680 plus, like you can get whatever you want, basically. But basically, that's the sauce. 680 plus. Now, once you're that, like you can just go anywhere you want. If you're Amex is a good starter, but after this, once you're 6 months and older, you can start working with the community banks. Well, actually, I'd say even at 0 to 6 months, you can start working with them, right? Um, and yeah, the only difference is if you have your financials, you can get approved for higher lines of credit, better products, better pizza, sorry, better products, um, and all kinds of stuff, right? So I hope that makes sense. I hope I went through it properly. I know it's gonna give people results, and yeah. So again, I'll just scroll through it for y'all, and that's that.